I accidentally happened upon some bins today from cast-offs from thrift stores. Now, these weren't Goodwill bins. It's actually for a local thrift chain that we have in our area, and I decided to give it a try. I really had zero expectations. Well, after those zero expectations were done, I went through everything and ended up spending about $77 on 19 items or something like that. Anyway, it worked out to like $4 per item. So definitely, this was a new experience. I'm not 100% sure if I made the right buys. So this was everything that I pulled out of the bins from the first time. Now, I probably pulled out about twice this stuff, and then about half failed my inspections. And honestly, the interesting part was I pulled out very little from the bins when fresh bins came out. Almost all of this I found was just sitting there that people had already picked over. So what that tells me is either I made some really bad purchases here, which I guess remains to be seen, or the people that were there were not necessarily looking for the same types of clothing things that I was looking for. So, like I said, everything's an average like $4 a piece here. So we're just going to run through all of it, and I'll tell you what I got and why I got it. It ended up being lots of bottoms, lots of pants and shorts. So got these Tommy Bahama. These are a silk blend. So I did pass on some other ones that were not silk. And then we got these Polo Ralph Lauren. These are mint green, size 35 shorts. Now, again, I know we're past short season, but I still think price to move, everything should be pretty good. This was the one I got out of a new bin right as it came out. It was these Nike shorts here. And their size 2XL, so I definitely like the bigger size. I just sold a pair of Champion shorts that were kind of similar to this. So again, they're kind of more loungy than anything else. You can see these had price tags from where they were at the thrift store before they made it here. Another pair of Tommy Bahama. These are size 36 in the green. And then one last one, which I like these. They're really big. I noticed that there's lots of big sizes, which makes sense because big sizes won't necessarily sell that well. This is Wrangler, but it's Riggs workwear, so it's just kind of extra thick, extra durable. It's meant to take just kind of an extra level of beating. I don't know if that's real leather, fake leather, but you can get the idea here of just being really thick work shorts or whatever. So, and I think what size was this? These were huge. I forget. Let's see. There's something like size 50. Yep, there they are. Size 50. So, most of the shorts and pants I pick up are in the 36 to 40 range. So size 50 is huge. All right. And then I grabbed this US Open hat. I just got an offer on something. This is from the 2017 President's Suite of the US Open. I know the US Open is going on right now. I think that's the tennis thing. So I'm probably going to not even wait. I'm just going to probably list this tonight, get it up, see if we can get it sold with all the hype of the tournament going on. All right, now this, I didn't realize, I thought this was like a men's setup, but this is like a women's golf skirt. This Callaway, which is a golf brand. It's like a skirt and, I don't know, like top and bottoms for women's. New with tags, and so I generally don't deal with women's clothing, and I didn't realize it till I got home, but at least it's new with tags, so we'll get that moving pretty quick. All right, on to the pants. All right, as we roll through here, we got these Orvis pants. I did look up some comps on these that we should be pretty good, especially going into the fall. And I don't know too much about pants and jeans. It's definitely an area I want to get better at, and I figure what better way than to get in them like $4 or less, because they usually charge more. So there's some Levi's 42 by 30. There was lots of weird sizes, a lot of really wide but shorts, so like 42 by 30, 50 by 28, which is, you can see why they would have never sold in an actual thrift store, but to a more nationwide audience or even worldwide, that would do. So most of these jeans that were not like crazy weird sizes that were Levi's I picked up. So this one, I don't remember the size on that one, but again, kind of another one of those, I think, weirder, awkward sizes here. These are Polo Ralph Lauren, and so again, I might check out one or two of these pairs and see if they fit me. Hopefully not the size 50, but and then let's see, got another one. This is 48 by 29. So again, these weird size combinations. So, and then I liked these. These are Carhartt. We don't see a lot of Carhartt down here, but these are like super thick, super heavy. They're They're like the double leg. They have the zipper down the edge, and so for $4, I think that's a great find there. And last but not least, I believe these are Tommy Bahama, and these are like a silk linen. Oh no, Polo Ralph Lauren. Sorry, Polo Ralph Lauren, and they're like a silk linen or something. Yeah, linen and silk blend pants there. So khaki pants. And I did my best to look over for stains. There's a few things that I'm going to spot treat. Most of this stuff, except the new with tag stuff, it's all going to run through the washer, I think. All right, we did get this Nat Nast. I don't pick up too much Nat Nast anymore. This used to be one that I picked up years ago all the time. And there was a little bit of bleed, so a lot of times I find that the pits are all kind of messed up. But there's like, you can see there's like a little stain. And I find a lot of these just don't make it to the thrift store in perfect condition, but we're going to try it. And at least this is the style of Nat Nast, kind of that Charlie Sheen bowling type of shirt. And of course, the more ornamental and decorative it is, usually the better. But again, for $4, I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a little discoloration there. So we're going to try to just spot treat it, see what we can do. Another Polo Ralph Lauren. This is size large. This is a 100% linen shirt. So again, even though we're kind of ending summer, it's good. And then got this Orvis shirt. This would have been one I would have been tempted to pick up, and it's great. It's like Christmas plaid color. It's not new with tags, but I definitely wonder if it's ever been worn. It looks in really good shape, and some nice, good colors there. And then I did grab this Tommy Bahama, was a quarter zip sweater. So there's nothing super special on the coloring, but again, it's just kind of for the price. And I'll probably be aim pretty low on this. $20 or so is probably what we're looking to get out of that. And then last but not least, this was probably the riskiest thing. I didn't grab it at first, and then they started to wheel the bin away, and I kind of was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. It's super jacked up, which is what you would expect. So this is West Marine. It's like a boat ramp place, and I looked, and there are comps for West Marine jackets and stuff. So like I said, I'm gonna figure out, we'll run it through the washer once and see what we can get cleaned up. But there were more solds than there were actively listed, so I'm assuming it's just people who work at West Marine, and it's hard to come by this stuff. So being that it is workwear, I'm willing to take that risk with the bright colors. So anyway, it's like $4 a piece, and I'm hoping at least we've got good winners on all the pants and the jeans. The shorts, hopefully we can double our money with quick sales on those, because I know we are coming out of summer. And everything else, there's a chance for a couple of decent hits in there. So overall, I would say it was fun. It was definitely a change up. The other thing that I noticed with the bins is it totally opened my eyes up. This was not Goodwill bins. This was bins for a chain. I would say there's maybe 8 to 12 thrift stores in our area, and that's all they have. And it was just bin after bin. They brought 2 new bins out every 30 minutes, and it's nonstop. And there are pallets and pallets and pallets of stuff. I mean, just absolutely amazing how much stuff. And it definitely was like, oh my goodness, like the clothing you find, the average clothing you find, it's just not special. I mean, there's so much good stuff that makes it all the way to the bins. And of course, there were a lot of people there were looking for women's clothing. And so there were even some people who were like, hey, were you interested in this? And they were passing me men's clothing stuff. There were also people who were there to buy clothing to send back home to whatever country they're from. I think a lot were from Haiti, from what I could pick up. And so people were like buying clothing to send back home because it's super cheap and different things. But I mean, there were other things I passed on that could have been worth it. And again, basically what I did is I just went through all the other bins, and anytime new bins came out, I'd go look through those really quick. And like I said, I didn't really find much in the new, because it's kind of almost crazy, and people just grab everything and then they sort it out and they throw stuff back in. So you can kind of, when you go through the bins, a lot of people there had already been through them, but they hadn't really seen everything in there. And so I went through probably about 20 bins, my first bins experience. So you let me know, is this about what I should expect? I don't remember what it was. It was like 79 cents a pound. So ended up like $4 an item. I feel like I paid a little more than what I would expect at bins. I was thinking it was going to be closer to $2 an item, but it was a learning process for me as well. And I did buy lots of heavy stuff. So I guess that kind of comes with the territory as well. So let me know, what do I need to know the next time I go back to the bins down in the comments below.